Bunny, and I wanted to come on here and just talk about how my little like theory, yeah, about how I don't think unambiguous dark-skinned Black women want to actually end colorism. I don't, yeah. So I want you guys to watch this clip, right? And then I'll come back and with my commentary. So yeah.
You got a thing called black hypocrisy. Yeah. And to promote it, you put up a picture where it looked like your skin was bleached. It was just all Photoshop, right?
Yes.
Yeah. People lost their minds.
Yeah.
How did you feel about the response when people thought that you actually did it? Because Vibes Cartel bleached your skin at one point.
Yeah.
So, it's not like that crazy to think that you would do it also, but you did actually do it.
The reaction when it happened at the time was very hypocritical because, and that's why the song was called Black Hypocrisy. It was called Black Hypocrisy because there was a lot of hypocrisy that was happening in the Black community. And again, the reaction was that, how could she bleach her skin? Why would she do this? And why would she do this to herself? And why would she hate herself? And why this and why that? But it was coming from the same people from the Black community who said I should have bleached my skin. So that's why it was called Black Hypocrisy, because it was funny how before the picture came out, my Black people were saying I was too dark skin. They don't understand how I have so much money and I'm not bleaching. I need to turn my thing up. I need to get with the flow. I want to get with the modern flow of bleaching. And I'm looking like, wait, a Black woman, a dark skinned Black woman that looks like me is telling me that I'm too black, that I need to bleach, that I need to have a different appearance to appeal to an international audience more. So it was very critical to me and it was very alarming. So I felt like it was a conversation that needed to be had, that people need to always sweep it under the rug. I feel like colorism is real. I'm friends with a lot of Caucasians and I have a lot of Caucasian fans, but none of them have ever told me that I'm too black. It was coming from my own people and my own community. So the colorism was getting so big that, you see the comments. I remember in the song, Black Hypocrisy, I said, them say me black till me shine, till me look dirty. That came from a comment. And so when she heard the song, she remembered that I replied to her comment because she also was a Black girl, telling me that I'm so black. So when I put her comment in the song, I remember her making a video and apologizing. She was like, I am the one that said this. And she apologized. I told her I accepted her apology. And I felt like it opened up a lot of conversation. I'm sure that colorism, that still exists, but I know that it created an awareness for the conversation that people wasn't having.
Okay. So, first of all, I just want to say that I respect Spice so damn much. Like, I love that woman down. Like, oh my god. Like, she's such an idol to me. Like, the only person that I'll really, stand, like, at this point, right? And, while I was in, the private... I think I've talked about this before. Yeah, I've definitely talked about it before about, when I was in the BWE space. I didn't make content back then, but just seeing it, and I was young, and it was just a lot, right? But while I was in the crybaby corner, right, and it was tearing down my self-esteem, right, further, yeah, Spice and others like her, but mainly Spice, right, really helped so much, because it was this is my representation, this is her confidence. She's always been that person, right, who's so confident, and you could just tell she loves herself, she loves her skin, right, as she should. I love her, yeah. But I find it so interesting that she's basically saying what we've all been saying in this space, and that it really should not surprise the unambiguous Black community, especially dark-skinned Black women, right? When female celebs like Spice are supposedly lightening their skin or something like that, right? Because y'all literally will say things like that you should do this and you should, how Spice said that they were telling her that she should have done that, and it's it's just so messed up, right? Yeah, she literally said that it's a dark-skinned Black woman that looks like her. Not a mixed woman, not a white woman, a dark-skinned, unambiguous Black woman, right? I think that's very telling. But yeah. Honestly, I'm glad the girl apologized, but the fact that Spice had to call her out for the comment, right? For her to reflect and apologize, it's really messed up, to compare her skin, their skin, to be honest, because Spice implied this was a dark-skinned woman, right? Well, she said it was a dark-skinned woman, right? To dirt? Really? Literally, they'll say that we're colorist, right? But this literally is colorist, disgustingly colorist. You're the lowest of the low. Yeah. And honestly, this further proves that we are right. like Spice said, it's the same people who are being colorist, right? And saying, for example, like how Akane said, skin girl that was hating on her, right, wouldn't reach the height well due to her being lighter, right? Y'all were asking what are the heights, but Akane seems to keep getting followers, right? And y'all seem to understand what heights there are when you want to bash another dark skinned woman and tell her, oh, you know, you're not gonna make it far and da da da, and you're not a preference. So y'all seem to know what the heights are. Okay. And then them saying they don't understand how she's famous and rich without bleaching, like, gags me. Like, it raised a question in my head, right? Why, like, this, you know how they'll get offended, right? If somebody will say, oh, they're poor, or if specifically a dark skinned person is poor, or assume they are, right? They'll say, you're being colorist and stuff like that. So, but y'all are quite literally telling this woman that there's no way she's rich despite being dark. Make that make sense. Like, make that make sense. It doesn't make sense. Oh, it does, kinda. Because you're a colorist. Like, at heart, you're a colorist. Like, it's so blatant at this point, right? And another thing I found interesting is she mentioned her white friends don't tell her to bleach and, like, they don't make any comments about her skin, right? I'd actually... I feel like they would probably say that her skin is beautiful. Like, this thing about how, like loads of black women have the story that the black community didn't say that their hair is pretty, right? But their white boyfriend did. The white community did. Like, it's... there's some truth there. I don't care. Like, there's some truth there. And yeah, but when the baby corner would have you thinking, like, otherwise, they would have you thinking that you are just, like, done. You're done for, right? And also the fact she was told to bleach so that she could reach an international audience, aka white people. Because, like, whenever y'all are saying, like, international audience, right, y'all never mention, like, Asian people or, like, whatever type of people. Like, y'all never mention them. It's always, like, I can tell. Like, yeah. But, like, this is further proof that they care a lot about how white people perceive them, right? And want better treatment from them, so much so that they would bleach, right? Now, I do have to kind of mention that this is kind of like... Spice is Jamaican, right? So I'm assuming this was like a Jamaican person who said the comment about her and things like that, right? So I have to, like, take the history into account, right? But I, like, loosely understand the history of Jamaica. Like, them being colonized by the British, and, like, I've heard, correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but you can't work certain jobs like a bank teller, right? Unless you are, like, light skin, right? So to an extent, like, I understand the mentality, but it's still really sick. Really sick to have a mindset like that and then project it onto others, right? Who look damn near exactly like you, right? Because you're insecure, right? And it's like, imagine how hurtful it is to be teared down by your own community, by women who look like you. Like, y'all are always complaining about representation and stuff like that. Spice has been representing unambiguous dark-skinned black women for decades, right? And this is how y'all treat her? Like, This is why when y'all do the representation thing, y'all don't even like each other. So, yeah. But we're all supposed to believe that's the white man, it's the black man, and exoticals, right? Who are making dark-skinned black, unambiguous dark-skinned black women specifically have, like, low self-esteem. And all of them are victims. Like, I'm just not buying it. Not at all. Mm-mm. But I want y'all to watch this next clip, right? And then I'll also go into my commentary and get into like I wrote like a lot. So yeah.
Skin. I'm the darkest in the family. I have been getting told to bleach my skin since I was like 8. She stopped bothering me about it, especially because one time she gave me soap that was supposed to help with my acne, and then it bleached my baby hairs, and I found out it was skin bleaching cream. So, anyways, I don't think you guys understand how hard-headed that generation is. Like the later Gen X, early Boomer generation. No, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care at all. That whole black is beautiful thing. Yeah, no, they don't care. My mom to this day still bleaches her skin. The only thing I can get her to do is wear sunscreen. They are so brainwashed to the point where they just won't hear it.
Yeah, but I forgot to say this, but before I get into like my commentary about that clip, right? Like I realized that unambiguous dark-skinned black women actually just don't like each other. Like it's not lost on me that this isn't the first time that a dark-skinned black one, right, who is like a singer or an influencer or something like that, right, has come on here to say that other dark-skinned black women have hated on them and discouraged them. Like the girl that I'm using in the thumbnail, right, in the like dress, like she literally came on social media, right, and said how like other dark-skinned black women were literally like discouraging her and hating on her and like getting her reported. And wasn't there like this other like dark-skinned like creator who's like, I think people like she might have like controversial views or something like that, which is why people don't like her. I think she's one of those like femininity, like modest type of people, right? And how the black community feels about that. So yeah, despite the slanging the femininity courses like it's crack, but all right. Yeah. Yeah, but like it's not the first time this has happened, and like the situation when that happened with the girl that I'm using as my thumbnail, right, and how before when she had like the baddie like aesthetic, right, they loved her, they followed her, all that stuff. As soon as she started getting modest, it's now you're being reported, now it's you're trying to be white and stuff like that. That's what I mean, like y'all, it's the trend, it's literally y'all hating on each other, right? And like watch that clip, right? So I'm actually moving on to my commentary on the clip, sorry. Yeah. And like I realized some of the nastiest colorists I've met have been dark skinned, like 9 times out of 10, right? And they're like usually dark skinned women, to be honest, right? Unambiguous dark skinned black women, because I've never like had an exotical who was like colors like that, like never, right? And like the thing about her, like her mom bleaching her skin, right, and trying to bleach her, right, as well, is just so sick. But it's not like uncommon. Like I've heard stories, right, because y'all know I'm African, right, about how my mom told me that, you know, women will eat like clay to make their children like come out lighter, right? I think there's some other stuff as well, but like that's the main one that I heard, right? And I've realized that it's this trend of aunties and like moms promoting colorism, right? That we just kind of slide under the rug. Like again, y'all complain about the colorist black men, right? But who are their mothers? They didn't have the father in the home, y'all said. So who's making them colorists? MLS women, right? And like, but who is teaching them to be colorists? Where are they hearing things like nappy and things like that from? Because it's not her white mother. I don't think it's from her white mother. So if we're assuming she has a white mother, but she's definitely hearing it from y'all. He's definitely hearing it from her cousins. But y'all wanna lie? Okay. Also, let's say her mom is like black, right? And the dad is, I guess, white. Who are y'all now going to blame? Because are we going to blame her black mother? Of course not. Y'all don't want to be seen as terrible mothers despite all the evidence. I'm not saying solely, you know, black mothers are bad, but like it's a whole lot of stuff, you know? Like And I don't think y'all are going to blame her white zaddy either, because y'all love pasta and lobster and getting the approval of the white man. So of course y'all are going to go back to blaming her and blaming the black man. So yeah, really weird. Somebody's lying. Yeah, I realized that, like, I forgot, like, it unlocked, like, a core memory, right? That my mom actually used, like, I think she still does. She sells bleaching cream, right? So back in, like, Africa, where, like, where she lives, right? Like, everybody knows, like, like, it's this thing where you have a house in, like, wherever, like Australia or something like that, right? Like a main house. And then you have like a house in Africa, right? So you can go back and like relax and not have to pay like money for like a hotel or something like that, right? And I realized my mom actually sold like bleaching cream, and I remember I was like so disgusted with her. And this was a time where like I like was into the crybaby corner, and like I felt really down and things like that. And so seeing her, I think I had like slowly recovered, but at the same time I was still like young, and seeing your mother like sell that, especially when you knew the effects of that. And she's also the person to like judge people who are bleaching, and it's so weird because she's also like a colorist. Like she's a raging colorist, right? Oddly, coincidentally, my father, who's like lighter skinned, right? He's not a colorist. He doesn't really bring up skin tone like ever. Like he's not colorist at all, right? But my dark skinned unambiguous mother is, which is interesting, right? And it made me think of this thing where like I truly believe the crybaby corner are the new aunties promoting colorism. Y'all are not giving the girls bleaching cream, slang of that creamy crack, right? But that is not funny. But like the names of the products are literally so disgusting. Like y'all just unhinged, right? But y'all are literally giving them severely low self-esteem and trauma surrounding their skin. Like every situation, I can like testify, right? I remember I was in this back when I was in college, right? It was this trade fair thing, right? And I was in one of the most diverse like schools, right? But because of my anxiety and like just not really fitting in, like the people that were there, like I just didn't really like mesh well with, right? And I remember I had complained to like my like counselor, right? And she was like, "What are you talking about?" Like I was like, "There's no black people. I'm the only da, right?" And she was like, "What are you talking about?" Right? I literally see every person of every color da, right? And she was also an exotical. She literally looked like she could be Mariah Carey's sister, right? And I remember like she snapped me out of it, and I was like, "Oh my god, she's so right." And that's when like the, I guess, deprogramming happened, right? But like literally you start having trauma around things and start thinking, "Oh, is it because of my skin?" Knowing damn well that nobody, like in real life, people are not really bringing it up like that, unless you're a dark skinned black woman who is literally like a colorist or like weird about skin tone. That's the only time that I've had people like bring up my skin tone or anything like that, or other people's like skin. Like that's the only time. Obviously there's like exceptions to the rule, but like I'm just talking like generally, right? In my experience, right? And like you're basically telling other young women, especially young, impressionable, unambiguous dark-skinned black girls, right, that their life is like undeniably going to be difficult due to their skin color, right? And it's messed up. It's sick. It's honestly, right? It's really predatory, right? Like you're preying on their insecurities and, you know, basically pushing them down in a ditch. Like how do you come back from that, right? Obviously I kind of did it, but at the same time I still had like some self-esteem, so it was easier for me, right? And like y'all are basically like trying to build these like codependent cults, right? Where y'all complain about how awful life is and how everybody's against you and you're the victim. Meanwhile, y'all are quite literally working against yourselves. You like, and I have a list, right? Number 1, complaining about representation, but hate to see unambiguously dark-skinned black women in anything and won't support them. Let's be honest. Again, I'll say it again. Y'all are only supporting Doechii. Y'all are only supporting Coco Jones in spite of colorism, in spite of people like Ice Spice, in spite of people like Doja Cat, right? That's the only time y'all care, right? But remember that Romeo and Juliet play, a normal, everyday dark-skinned girl, right? Unambiguous dark-skinned girl, right? Gets a major role. And y'all are saying, oh, it's racist that they casted someone who actually looks black. Like, instead of a mixed woman, like, would you have them rather hire Zendaya or something? Like, Amanda Stenberg, but y'all don't want to see Amanda Stenberg anymore. So, which one is it, right? Yeah. And complaining about being stereotyped as hyper-masculine but bullied girly black women and girls for years until telling femininity was lucrative and you realized that men would pick you if you were more feminine, right? I'm clocking your tea. Can't escape it, you know. Number 3, complaining about being hypersexualized but have been fighting for years to be degraded in rap music and videos. They'll always say, where's the dark-skinned girls in the video? In the most egregious videos, in the most like the degrading videos. I don't want to be in there. I don't give it. Like, no. Not to mention like the new one that I showed y'all in like my last video, I think, right? About the Our Black Woman thread. When y'all were literally upset, y'all, I was gagged. Because I thought it was just me. Because I was like, am I like reaching? But y'all agreed and y'all were like, no, this is literally like weird. Like, we know that people prey on darker skinned girls, black girls, more than other races, I guess. And like, I guess it gets swept under the rug more because of like racial prejudice, right? And like, it's like, why? Like, y'all are upset you cannot play the roles of sexualized young women, aka children, because y'all are literally wanting to play children. Like, and wanting to play Jezebel roles, I thought y'all said you had enough of it. Like, it doesn't make sense. Y'all are confusion, right? And don't even get me started on the fact that y'all claim to want more music or just more like positive media in general, with black women speaking more about like more about a range of topics instead of like their bedroom lives, right? And more, and like about black love and like loving themselves and stuff like that, right? Yeah, y'all are still listening to Summer Walker and SZA sing about being desperate, depressed, and deceived by Dusties. Like, y'all, are y'all dumb? Like, you're not fooling anybody, right? You're not fooling me, right? And then we have Sexy Red, right? Whose music, like, I cannot escape her. And it's fine because I low-key like love her music. I like it. It's pop, right? But like, we are hearing Sexy Red everywhere, to the point that in the did y'all see the viral video about the ballet teacher, right? and she was saying, oh, they want to play like sexy, they keep telling her to play Sexy Red, like the little black girls are telling her to play, well, I assume, right, I don't want to assume, but let's just say little girls in general, right, are asking her to play Sexy Red instead of like ballet music, and she was so distraught, and y'all were like making fun of her, but you know, she was right. And like I hear Sexy Red's music like everywhere, right? And I also have like a video coming on, like not exactly Sexy Red, but like she ties into the topic that I wanna like touch on, right? And it's moral of the incoherent rant, right? Is I'm not buying it. Y'all are liars. Y'all are to blame for your own demise. Obviously, there's other factors, right? But y'all are consistently the ones who are bashing each other, who are, you know, playing into colorism, giving people bleaching creams and things like that, right? And there's so many other videos where I was like, I can't put like every video in here, right? And I wanted to like talk more than I do like little clips and stuff like that. But yeah, it's like I'm just not full. Anyway, y'all, please like, please comment, tell me what you think. Yeah, have a lovely day. I'm literally like, my period is so bad. Like, oh my god. I thought I wouldn't upload, but like I just like it came into my head and I was like, yeah, I have to. I was watching Jodie the Island Girl, right? Which, shout out to her, right? Because like I got the little clips from there. So shout out to her. Thank you. But yeah, please like, please comment, please subscribe if you haven't already. Tell me what you think. See y'all. Bye.